Hey, what's up, guys? We're here in my mini studio in my apartment, and we're gonna go over some of the production stuff in the song "Boys and Girls." There's a lot of little neat tricks that I tried out in this song. It was super fun, not only to record but to write and produce. Hopefully, maybe you can learn something or just have fun watching it. I've always loved this behind the scenes kind of stuff. I love it. I live for it. I live for it in YouTube. I always go like in the YouTube black hole of just watching and watching videos about this kinds of stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Okay, so with that being said, just to give you a little backstory of the song. I mean, it's a little lick, the little bell, the ba 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 ba, a little part, a little melody. I wrote it like in 2015, and when I was in quarantine because my wife and I were COVID positive, literally on New Year's Eve. So we decided to stay at home, and I felt bad the first couple of days. But after that, I started going through my voice memos, and I found this little melody, the little melody for the bells, which I guess kind of is also the melody for the chorus. And when I was like, wow, did I write this a long time ago? And I was like, wow, I'm actually not too bad, right? So that kind of inspired. I mean, I was like, maybe I should go back into writing. Maybe I should kind of get out of this whole backstage thing where I'm just producing or like mixing other people's stuff. And I was like, because every time I saw people play, I would always be like, hey, oh my gosh, I wish I was on stage, or oh my gosh, I wish I was playing too, or I want to get back into writing, And man, this song really sparked that. I was like, hey, maybe you could start doing that again. So I know this is not the first song I released; it's the second one, but this is the first one that I guess inspired the whole coming back into, making music and making content like this. I hope you guys enjoy it. I really love this song. All right, so let's go. This song has clear 80s inspirations into the drums and the synthesizers. The main melody, it's being carried by three synths. One of them sounds like this, which is the main one. The other two layers are basically doing the same thing, but they're just doing them like one has more reverb and one's more plucky and stuff like that. So these little synths, man, they inspire the whole song for me, and I love them. And I think it's just very, very simple, just layering. It makes it a thicker sound. Along that, I came up with the chords. These chords are just basically three chords going over and over again. And they're basically the bass. It really, when I started writing the song, it was just the drum beat, the little melody on the bells, and this little synthesizer bass that I absolutely love. It's from the Analog Lab here in Arturia, the Analog Lab from Arturia. It's the Nitzer bass, I guess it's called. I really love it. Check it out. So that's basically the beginning of like the song. That's what kind of started building it up from there. If you really think about it, I kind of go in order as I'm making up stuff. We'll go back to the ARP because that's in the pre-chorus. The organ synth is on the bridge. This vocal chop, I love deconstructing vocals and doing effects with them. And this is one of them where we just got a hey, and then we just looped it over and over again and kind of made like a little ARP. And then I really wanted some top end, so I got this really bright. I misspelled bright. It says breath. This little breath synth pad, and it's just really, really high up there on the frequencies. Right, all together, it sounds like this. Oh shoot. All right, man. I absolutely love that. When I heard that the first time, I was like, I'm a genius. Wow, so that's basically all the synthesizers. The only other stuff that is on the synths is the beginning loops, like the loops here at the very beginning of the song. It's like the intro of it, which is basically again, I got another vocal chop, and I bounced it, and all I did was put a whole bunch of effects on it, so you can see it right here. It has a vocal transformer. We have tape delay, and we have even more tape delay. I think I'm automating all of this stuff to make it sound like the way it sounds. So maybe you can see how it automates right here to create that little effect. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of noise, noise and delays. Just trying to be creative, I guess. But that goes in par with this intro loop, which is basically it's a drum loop. It's just a four on the floor, the kick, snare. And this one, basically, what I did at the very end, it's just a vocal transformer as well. And this one, I think it starts pitched up and it pitches down to create that kind of filtered effect. Sounds like this. We have two risers because you can't make modern music without risers anymore. And we have the siren, which is, I think, a really important part of the song. If I'm really being honest, it kind of gives that high pitched, adrenaline filled sound, And the intro fade in over here is basically the bright, the bright synth pad, and it's basically, I believe it's bounced from here, from the first note, and it's reversed and is faded in. Together it sounds like this. All right, and then from there, you can hear the siren just kind of stays there, and it creates that little tension. That was very inspired by, I don't know if you guys know the band Phoenix. They always do that kind of stuff where it's just one siren doing a one note, and it just sounds so like anxious, like, oh my gosh, move, And I wanted to create that. So that's actually basically all the synthesizers. The only other one that we need is the ARP that only happens once on the pre-chorus, I believe. It's just on the Let's Dance part. Let's dance, sing your hearts out to a favorite little sad song. That part is just this one. And it comes in right here. Again, that's also from the Arturia pack. And then the organ synthesizer, it really is, I think one keyboard player could play all this. If not, maybe with the backing track doing maybe the ARPs and stuff like that. But I always try to keep it simple, where it could be like a 4 or 5 piece. And I think it's just the organ sound in the bridge is the only other synthesizer that we have. And stuff. Everything else is just like percussion and loops and stuff like that. But that's basically all the synthesizers. It's not as much as it sounds. We only have 3 guitars, really. We have and I literally I use this preset as is. I love it. It's the Deluxe Blues from Logic. It's a preset that's inside here. I love it. I literally don't move it. I think I just put more gain and stuff like that, or like move around with like the compressor and whatnot, but not really, just fiddling around it. And honestly, it sounds awesome. I love it as it is. The guitar sounds just like this. Super simple, two parts, one on each side, no doubles. I think the guitar is actually a very important part of the song, but it's also very simple. I love how like the Strokes only have like two guitars and stuff like that. And I think that's more than enough. And I really like the tone of it. Right now it's a little mixed in. It probably doesn't have as much low end as you guys would probably want it to, but I think it sounds cool. I think the only time I get an extra guitar is on the chorus, is just to add like an extra little flair of high notes there. Sounds like this. All right. The only other thing that we have is really the bass. That's it. We have the bass, and again, it's just a preset here from Logic. It sounds like this. The bass doesn't have anything special. It's just the bass. It really goes paired up with the synth bass, and they're just doing the same notes over and over again. It's not hard at all. I decided to play live bass because, one, I really wanted the sound. And two, my brother Victor just kept bugging me. He's like, "It needs a real bass," and I'm like, "I know." Originally, I was doing this with an ARP, like dun 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 dun. But then I was like, "Nah, it sounds way too robotic and like way too set. Like, it sounds way too perfect." You know, I wanted that dirtiness of like plucking, uneven plucking, and stuff like that. So yeah, I decided to go for a real bass, and I think the song could shine really with just like the guitars and the bass and the drums. So I think without the synths, except for the lead, obviously, right? If we keep the lead and just the raw instruments, like no pads, no effects, just it'll sound like this. Look, let's see how it sounds. I'm pretty curious now. It really goes to show that really the guitar is still like a guitar driven song, even if you don't hear it that much. Like it really does carry the emotion. I think most of the harmonies come from the guitar, and I know it's like more synth heavy, but I think still like the guitar is a big part of the song. And I think in all my writing, guitar is always going to be a big part of it. Even though I'm more of a keyboard player, I really like the sound of the guitar. We got to bring it back. I think it's coming back, and I think there's just something about playing the strings and strumming them that's just beautiful, you know. So yeah, the guitars are there. That's basically all the instrumentation. All the other stuff that we have here is just drums. The drums, I did this part. I wrote, this is the part that I wrote, which is just basically this very, very simple loop. I wrote the little simple loop, and then my brother Victor, the guy who I mentioned right now that was bugging me to put bass drum, he actually, he's like, "Hey, can I put more effects and like more little things here and there on the drums?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, bro, do it, of course." I mean, I'm the kind of guy who want to collaborate. I live in a very small city, so it's like really hard to like collaborate with other artists or producers and stuff like that. And I kind of always lean on my brothers because they're awesome, you know. And so I used this, and I sent him the track, and he came up with his little effects, and I think it sounds amazing. It went from my super basic drums to like well-produced drums. Like he layered them really well. It sounds like this. Without. Man, mine sounds so bad without his. Yeah, I mean he made the song. I really do think he did. All I did was afterwards just add the little toms in the choruses. But honestly, what he did with the drums is amazing. And let's hear what the drums are doing in the chorus, because that's where it's the most busiest, and I think that's where it shines the most. All right, so that's basically it for all the instruments. I think my brother Victor, who pretty much produced the drums, he did a great job. I think he really lifted up the whole song, and I give him credits for that for sure. Now the vocals I had to produce in an entire different session because my computer hadn't gotten here. I ordered an MacBook M1, and it took a bit to get here, and not only that, but some of the stuff wasn't working still there, so I had to produce my plugins that worked on my old MacBook. Some of them weren't working on the M1 MacBook, so I had to do all the instrumentals here and then bounce it back to one track, a stereo track, put it on my M1 and record my vocals. I had a dilemma because my old MacBook wasn't strong enough for it to record more tracks, so I couldn't record vocals in there, and then the M1 didn't support my plugins, so I couldn't just take the session and record it in the other computer. So I had to, like I said, bounce everything into a stereo track, then record the vocals on another session on my new computer. Let's go ahead and look at that. All right, so now we're back here in the vocal session. Now in the vocals, I really wanted it to be kind of fun, like something always happening. The music was very simple, so I really wanted the vocals to kind of be the highlight, even with the arrangements. So I recorded the main vocal, and then I also recorded the exact same thing at a lower octave throughout the entire song. So there's like two vocals simultaneously. And what I did is that I got the first vocal, and then I would copy it in certain parts, like certain phrases, and I would add effects to those phrases. As you can see, some of these I tried to mount, and I didn't like the way they liked them, so I muted them. But I didn't delete them because maybe I'd like them later. So what I basically did is I will get the main vocal and I will just copy it, let's say, to this part where it says vocal effects. I think this is where it has all of them. Yeah, don't get scared with all the tracks for the vocals. I mean, it really is a lot of you. Like, where is it? How many vocal tracks are there? It would be all of these are actually just vocals. 33 tracks. Don't get scared. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It really is not that much. So I would just get the vocal and I'll move it here to this FX delay. We'll see how that sounds. Oversized sweater. I'll give you all the effects. Pretty much a lot of them are like reverbs. A lot of them are delays, different types of delays. A lot of them they're also pitched down vocals, like here in this monster voice. Over here and this one right here. Again, I just copied the main vocal and I just pitched it down with vocal bend, and I think in the pedal board I add fuzz to it. It sounds like this. Then you right here with me. Then you right here with me. Very simple. At the end, there's like a little. I think this I recorded with my iPhone because I had an idea and I was at work and I was like, I need to record this. So I recorded with my voice memo, and then I just airdropped my voice memo and I did that little hey part, which also has vocal bend, repeater, illustrious plates, and an EQ. Sounds like this. Then you right here with me. But this is nothing too groundbreaking, really. But over here we have the effects delay. Let's hear the whole verse so we can kind of see what's happening here. This effects delay has just repeater, and I think it's 100% wet. Almost all wet. So it's there, and then this other one is octave verse. So I think it's the same thing, but it's the octave. So I pitched the vocal an octave higher. Let's hear it together. Oversized sweater, skin tight jeans. It's getting it better than you right here with me. Alright, so something is always happening with the vocals. There's some I recorded the doubles for the entirety of the song, but I take them out in some parts just so when they come in they have more impact. The vocals here are very similar, use the similar effects. Over here we use the one where there's octave room. I think the reverb is pitched up. It's very, very subtle effects, but just trying to get different dimensions and spaces with the effects of the vocals. And over here there's a lot more doubles. I guess it's the second verse, so I wanted to create more tension, and it keeps growing. Let's see how that sounds together. So we're using the effects delay that we used before, the octave reverb, Now we're using an octave room, which is the room, but only the reverb, like the reverb, is the one that's an octave higher. And we have here another instance of repeater, and I think it's just more wet. Let's hear it.
But there's something about life that seems unreal. If figure it out is a crime, I'll make the time with you. Let's dance and sing our hearts out to a favorite little sad song.
Alright, so that's cool because this delay is like super wet, and I think it's like almost ping ponging. So this one is on these phrases, dance, 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 dance. So that's why I put it there. You see, I don't even know why I put it, but I thought it sounded cool, and it just stays there. Let's see that part again.
Let's dance and sing our hearts out to our favorite little sad songs. I know it's not what we want.
So it's just in that phrase. No. Adding just little ear candy here and there, you know. The chorus is very, very simple. I didn't put a lot of effects in them. It just sounds like this.
'Cause we're just boys and girls. We're living it up and we're running to nowhere.
Again, it just has an octave. It has an octave. I think since the music is more busy on the chorus, I didn't really want to put that many vocals there. But a lot of the effects are really just coming in the verses, like those little arrangements. And the chorus is not that much because the music is already having a lot of arrangements there. Alright, the second verse was a little bit more simple. Again, I'm using the same effects, the delays, the octave reverbs, and the monster voices. Let's see how it sounds.
Finding emotions through little black screens. What's all the commotion? We're all just chasing dreams.
Again, a little part, same thing. A part I want to talk about is also the stacks of the harmonies here in the pre-chorus. Kind of just opens up that part on the vocal. We can hear that real quick.
Dreams, dance and sing our hearts out to our favorite little sad songs. No, it's not what we thought we would be, but we're just boys and girls.
Again, it's just those harmonies on the pre-chorus. There's a couple of harmonies on the chorus as well, but those are actually like computer generated, and they don't sound that great by themselves, if I'm being honest. But the harmonies that I did record myself, again, the reason why I did it like that is because I was experimenting with notes and I wanted to see what sounded better. And I honestly just didn't have more time to record my vocals, and I wanted to release the song, and it sounded okay, so we just kept it. So the other stack of vocals and harmonies that I have, I think they're here in the bridge, which is the don't go part.
Don't go, don't go, no, no, don't go, don't go, don't go, no, no, don't go, don't go, don't go, no, no, don't go, don't go, don't go, no.
You can almost hear my voice run out of breath. It was so hard to record. That was the hardest part to record on the whole song because I'm not great at like holding my breath for that long, and it's like, I don't know, like 15 seconds of like just saying don't go continuously, and I was like obsessed with not looping it, so I had to do it. I think that's about it. The only last vocal is this one. I didn't even put anything on this one on the bridge. It's just the mix of the verse, like the mix of the vocal, and it goes by itself. It's nothing. There's nothing kind of cool to it.
All that matters is we're together. They all think that they know better, but
for the main vocals, which really everything else is basically pretty normal. Like there's nothing too groundbreaking about it. But I think the main vocal mix that I have here, it has a compressor from Logic, has the EQ from Logic, and it's got the virtual mix board from Slate. It also has, after that, it's got a de-esser, it's got overdrive, it's got tape delay, and it's got more tape delay on the pedal board. I really like the tape delay here. I play a lot with it. I automate it all the time. The main vocal is very, very lush and has a lot of stuff, and the low vocal really doesn't have anything. The main vocal has all of these effects, and the low vocal, which is they're meant to be together, which is why a lot of the low frequencies on the main vocal are taken out, because the low octave, believe it or not, it's there dry. It's by itself, and together they sound really good though, I think. And it has nothing. That's how it sounds by themselves.
Oversized sweater, skin tight jeans. This couldn't get better than you right here with me. But this.
Again, they're meant to be together. They're meant to be kind of be thought about as one instrument. Alright, I just want to tell you guys to smash that subscribe button and put the little notification bell on so you can keep seeing more videos from me if you guys like more stuff like this. And if you guys want to go more in depth with I don't know, anything, how to record it, or maybe you guys want to go more in depth with the mixing or the production aspect. As you can see, I'm not very organized with this, and I'm just kind of make it up as we go sometimes, but I think it's all just about getting a flow and just seeing what sounds good. So if you guys are more interested in this kinds of stuff, let me know. Comment below, like, and everything. Share it with all your friends and family. We'll see you soon. God bless.